check out the Patreon and gain access to all the source code. Hey, welcome to part 3 of this video tutorial on creating a level plus gear recommendation system. So let's just get back into it. So we want to fix this up because it doesn't look that great to have it like this, and it can get pretty annoying with the way we write it. So what we will do now is that we will make our own function so that we can utilize the isRate too. So let's begin. First, go up here, function, and send message on enter map, just so we know what it is. And let's see, what will we send here? We wanna, first off, we need the player to send the message, so we write player. Then we need the text, so that would basically just be the location, or no, the level range text, and then the gear recommendation text, and then the isRate. So what we are doing here is that instead of writing all of these down here, we will call our function here, and that will write the things for us. But another thing I would want to change here is actually go up at the top here, and then we want to, instead of us needing to write the recommended level for this, then we will just, like we did here, put it in a variable, so we store it, and then we can just call it when we write the line. So let's do that. So let's see here, recommended level text. And what should we call this? This is the the recommended level for this, and then add a space. I will let you know why later, why we need a space here. So now we have this function, or not function, the variable holding this text. So when we call this, we get this. Next, we want the recommended gear text, just to hold the next part. So recommended gear text equals, and we make a space here, is recommended. Awesome. So now the reason we make a space here is so that when we add it to the function to print, or not print, but say it to the player, we don't need to calculate a space into our normal or normal text here. That way it's just a little easier to not have to think about adding a space up here, or a space at the level text, or something like that. So now let's actually make the function work. So first off, we want to start building our string. So we will start with isRate text, and we want to set this to nil at start. This will handle like the rate is or dungeness. So that would mean if, and between the if and then you write isRate. So this means if it's true, then it goes in here. So if it's true, isRate text should be equals to rate is, because, and a space, because the rate, because if is true, isRate is true, then it's a rate. And if not, we say else, so that means isRate is false. We set isRate text to be dungeon is and a space. So if it's not a raid, it says dungeon is. If it's a raid, it says radius with a space on both. Now that is calculated, and we now utilize our is raid in here. Awesome. Now let's build the texts up here. So recommended level message equals, and what we want now, because now we are building this recommended level message, what we want to do now is say recommended. So we want to take this, because this is the start of the level message. So we take this and then we concate or something, I think it's called. So we basically just add the next thing, which is raid text. So that means here it right now our message says recommended level text, which is basically converted to the recommended level for this and a space. And now you see why I added the space, because here we add this, and this text will automatically be either radius or dungeness, and we don't need a space here because we fixed that up here. We added the space here. So right now our message, or recommended level message, actually says the recommended level for this, and since it's a dungeon, we want, if it's step mines, it would say the recommended level for this dungeon is, and then we need the level. So here, the last thing we actually need to do now is do a ... again, and then basically just add the level range tag. That's all. Now we are completely made a full like message utilizing our function here, or variable, the isRaid text that gets converted if it's true or false. And now we also have the level range from here, which was sent down here when it loops over and finds the great map. Next, we will do basically the same again, but we'll do it for the gear. So here, I would simply write gear recommendations tag. This is the gear recommendation, because we want the gear to say self-crafted gear, or raid gear, or ice crown citadel gear, or something first, and then we want to add is recommended at the end. So that is recommended. So like this, sorry, a recommended gear text, that's just me. So now we basically made both our function or variables. So this is actually looking hella good. So now there might be some spelling mistakes, but yeah, I'm not, English isn't my my first language / native language, so I'm sorry if there are spelling mistakes. So here, now we have the messages. Next up, what we want to do is actually we just want to send them to the player. So we go down here and copy these three things, Control X to cut it from here, go up here, and what we want to do is just Control V to add it in, and then we go back here. Just, you don't need to do this, this is just to make it cleaner. And now this is for sending the recommended level. What we want to do here is remove the whole part where we sent the message and just replace it with our recommended level message. And down here we basically just take all of this, remove it, and replace it with the recommended gear message. And now all you do is you double click here on a function, Control C, go down here, Control V to call your function. Then you put in the arguments, and the arguments was the player, level range text, and the gear recommendation text, and the is rate. And that's all you need to do. So now this will show up when we go into Deadmines. Let's try it out. So first, reload Eluna, because now we changed something. You need to reload Eluna if your server was opened while you were doing it. Now let's head in. And as you see, the recommended level for this dungeon is 15 to 25. Self-crafted gear is recommended. Okay, so now you see it works, but what if you want to add something like what is it called, molten core? So let's real quick, let me show you how to add this. So you can type teller molten core to go here faster. And now you will see when I enter, nothing is written here because this map is a different one. So what we want to do is just click enter and type .gps and hit enter. Now you see the map for molten core is 409. So that means we need to add the map into our script. So what we want to do now is we can copy this line here, paste it here, change this to say molten core, and again, this doesn't mean anything. This is just a comment. It's just so we can keep track. Now we can change this gear requirement because we would probably want them to have raid gear. Then we want to say this should be true because it's a raid, so true. And here you will probably set it to 60. And now all you do is actually go in to WoW again. Look here, 409. You put 409 in here now, and now you added the raid. So let's head back into WoW. Open the server. Let's just head out of here. So open the server again. Just reload Eluna if it's open, or if the server is open. Hit enter. Let it reload. Then let me teleport to molten core again. And I'm back. So now when I go in, you now see the recommended level for this raid is 60. Raid gear is recommended. So everything here now you can basically just add all the maps you want, all the instances, all the recommendations, basically everything you would like with no problems. It's modular, so that's it's the goal with making a system, is to make it as easy as possible to add all of these things. So all you would do, let's say you wanted to have another gear recommendation. What you would do here is, hey, I'm the new gear. So let's just take that as a name, for example. So that will always, that would be free. So if we want the molten core to say that now instead, the rate here, you will just change this to free. And then the next thing you do is, I will just head out of there. Then reload Eluna, tell a molten core, and all you do now is you go back in and hey, I'm the new gear is recommended, because that's how we have written the gear recommendation. So this was all for this series, and I really hope you learned something from it. And don't worry if this seems kind of hard to understand at the start. It's gonna be a little hard at the start, but you will learn it. And as soon as you learn this and you start realizing, okay, it's actually pretty easy, then you can make everything you would like. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for following this series. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if this video helped you. See you in the next one.